So I'm doing a live for you all. No, I didn't give you guys any heads up. I am like the boogie woman. I just pop out of nowhere, right? You got to be safe around these parts. But I hope that you guys are doing great. And yeah, learn to trust your own intuition. I know you probably heard that many times before, but especially growing up, a lot of times you can be, I wouldn't say groomed. It's a learned behavior. People don't realize they're doing it. Being taught or watching others stifle their own intuition. That is something that you can cultivate over time. And that is really important in this world, and going forward, that's what people need to do, right? Because it's easy to listen to other people. It's easy to listen to propaganda. We're getting that more and more and more. Okay. Massachusetts, there's nothing short of propaganda here. Okay. Now anyone can use the bathrooms and this and that. Well, shoot, if there's not just one stall in the bathrooms, I don't even want to use public bathrooms, to be honest with you. Okay. And people can have their own points of view. That is okay. And I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. That's far from it. If anything, when I point something out, I'm always quick to defend certain people too, because that's always been me. I've always been the younger sister that wanted to protect everyone, protect their honor. Yes, a lot like Johnny Sachs, a lot like my dad. I swear. I mean, are they following us, like watching us? Probably, right? And and you can have issues like having a temper and all that in your family, but everyone can have like a strong opinion. And when I say everyone wants to be right, that doesn't mean that when you're right about something, it's not right. But I'm not the type that needs to go on for 50 years with the damn vendetta. That's, just not my taste. But when I stand on something, especially when I know it's going to rock the boat with people, because I know how so-called indoctrinated everyone is, that to me is something that I really believe in. I did my research on. It's not just a competition. It's not, oh, I need to have a leg up. Nothing like that. It's literally what I would bet my own life on. I would bet money on. Okay. And I did take the time to do research because I do care. Okay. And so if anyone, says otherwise, they're lying because that's what it is. Hi, guys. How are you? Oh, thank you. I'm glad everybody's being respectful. You never know on here because they're like, oh, are you this? Are you a... I'm like, what? I'm just a woman. I'm just a woman talking. Hello, who is this? Oh, it's gonna be somebody stupid. Happy birthday. Oh yeah. Are you what is that? My brother's middle name? My birthday's not today, but thank you very much. This could be troll relatives because, sometimes they show love through hate, which would be fine. It's whatever. I know. Why are you being disrespectful on my channel? Why don't you go somewhere else? I know. Again, trust your intuition, knowing that it's going to be trolls that come on. Just want to be heard. I know. Hello, how are you? Thank you. Actually, that's my brother's middle name, Manny. Why don't you, or if that's you, go play with yourself because you're toxic. And if I'm so manly, right, then why do you guys continue to date women that look just like me? And why do half you guys, when you guys try to cross dress and try to be like us women, try to look like us and act like us? You guys even make a movie called Medea because you want to be women so bad that you wear your mama's dress, walk around, and fight with girls like you are a girl because maybe that's what you wanted to be your whole life, And a lot of you guys do have, some working on yourself to do. So if you're going to be disrespectful, that's when I'm going to start blocking your ass. Let's see. Oh, here we go with more shit. How much is what? A punch in the head? That's all you'd get. Because again, being outspoken and saying what's real will always get you shit. Are you friends with that witch I was talking about yesterday that robbed my family's house? That God knows how many people she screwed over. God knows, you know what I mean, what she's about. She probably got AIDS by now, but you're gonna come over here and you guys should check yourself because my hands are clean. Can you say the same about yours? Exactly. So that's why I have to be careful with some of the lives because some of you guys think, oh, it's an easy target. There is no easy target. If anything, you guys should worry about yourself with freaking dirty ass hands. Okay. That's all I'm saying. And I can speak freely. Okay. Because this is America. And if you don't like it, go back to Portugal. You guys need to leave because most of you guys weren't even born here. So why don't you leave? Okay. Anyways. And whoever else is here just causing trouble. Just causing trouble. Exactly. Let's see. I don't have my readers on. What time is it now? What does it matter? What time is it where you are? Where are you? It's the afternoon where I am. Thank you. This is the East Coast. It's raining per usual, right? How many songs about the rain? Yes, let the rain come down on me. I was actually riding around and I was using Bluetooth and listening to my own music, and it was actually more entertaining than some of the music that's out there. And I am registering my song, so if you guys think you can just use it and, follow la la la, that's not gonna happen. But when I choose my battles, I choose them wisely. I'm not trying to, just waste my time. It's people who actually wronged me and my family. Whatever goes on between me and my relatives, that's between us. Some of them are cowards. They hide behind a hidden hand. Oh, they don't like my jokes, but I get all the jokes in the world. So no, you're going to eat it because you guys have, crossed the boundaries on many things, tried to affect somebody's professional career that's actually professional, not some of the work that some of the girls are doing. Thank you very much. And if you ladies were such great mothers, why do your daughters walk around like that? So don't care. You guys can just get off my page then. It's not even about that. And I have a phone number. So if you like to be a grown up, use that. And make sure you text, right? Because you're not going to just ambush me and abuse me. There'd be a little paper trail first. You got to warm yourself up, especially if it's been a while, because a lot of people do like to set each other up. Is that a curse in certain families, or what is it? You guys played the Ouija board once too many times. Is that it? You said hail Satan, hail Lucifer too many times. Lucifer don't got nothing on me. Okay, Lucifer is not bigger than the Most High. He, she, whatever. Some people say man. I swear it's a woman. You control anybody's life. No, you don't. You don't. Okay. So I do follow the creator. You guys don't like it. Yes. Take your like back and skitty, doodah. I don't live for attention like some people think. Okay. When I talk about people, I'm making a point. And it's only after they stepped on my toes a few times where I'm like, no, you're not going to do that anymore. Okay. And so I learned to trust my intuition when people tell me to ignore it, because let's be real. A lot of people, they look at certain families like a pecking order, like it is a gang. Like, oh, you think you're older. You think you can treat the younger one like that. Like my father didn't want anything good for me. Like me and him didn't have our own agreements that you guys know nothing about and you're not going to know nothing about. Okay. And if you think you're going to defraud his name and, not even give me a watch of his after he passed away, and cannibalize him and turn him into dust and scatter him all over the place like his soul isn't screaming from the other side, you got another thing coming. Okay? Okay. There is a God, all right? So, yeah, that's where I'm coming with it. But when I'm talking about trust your intuition, I'm talking about having toxic friends. I will admit that there was times my family did try to warn me about toxic individuals, and I'm not so big-headed and psychotic like some people, and that I can never, admit when I make a mistake and I act like, oh my God, my shit don't stink. No, you get better by learning from your mistakes. That's how I continue to get better. But I'll be damned if me being the youngest always got to be like, oh, we're family, let's get along. Come on, guys, knock it off. After I was a child and was like severely mentally and physically abused by my own siblings when, they should have been protecting me, not pounding on me or trying to pimp me out or forcing me to watch your kids when I was 4 or 5 years old, right? That is abuse right there. And then, watch you guys beat the shit out of your kids. Let's not do that. Let's not do that here. Okay? Let's not do that here, because you can put me on a lie detector test. You can try to run my name in the mud. I don't care. The shit that the adults do around the children, that should be looked at. That should be looked at, okay? Instead of sending your son over where you help put an address and then just have him come after me. That's not my son that needed to be protected. That was your son. Okay. So when I try to confront people and they're like, oh, let me call her job. Let me do this for what? For speaking the truth because no one wants to hear it, or for warning against vaccines, or by saying that you should have fed certain people healthier food instead of processed food and then wonder why people get sick, like treating people like an afterthought. So if you're going to do that to them, I ain't shit either. No kidding. So I'm not looking for love where the well is dry. Okay. I have enough love to have empathy and compassion for people, just like Jesus did, like forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Because a lot of people, I don't care if you live to be 100, you really don't know what you're doing or how you act. Okay. And so that's all I say about that, right? Because there's a lot of situations I should have been protected from, and then I got thrown in the fire. Why? Because a lot of people saw that I had a lot of potential and they had their potential sucked away. So they're like, okay, well, we want to see you go down the same road I did. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Because if people love you, they want you to go farther, like I did for my daughter. I would be damned if I let her follow certain footsteps. I made sure to ensure that would never happen. Okay, no matter what I had to do. Okay, so what this topic was about was actually having intuition as far as shitty friends. But, I did have some issues with relatives as well, too. So that's why, I say what I say, is because you know what? They do got a Luciferian spirit. They were named right. Okay. They believe in certain things. They support the LGBT. They actually think they have more rights than, natural women. It's almost getting to the point like, people have been demoralized to that point that now if you say anything against anything, they'll be the first one to harp. If you say anything against vaccines, although it comes from the word vodka, you tell me how cow pus is supposed to heal you and how you don't have an immune system and how there's no connection to cancer. I'll wait. Sure. You go get the work instead of just throwing stones and, saying stupid pet names and actually hurting yourself when you diss me. Because if I'm manly, what the hell do you look like? If I'm so this and that, what the hell are you? And I've defended your name many, many times, something you couldn't do for me, even though you're a lot older than me. Okay? Yeah. And the only time I say enough is enough, right? Like Trump would say, is when you come from my throat over and over, sending your loser son-in-law, right, who probably has a clitoris, okay, over to my channel, acting like, oh, we're all buddy, just to try to harass me and shit on my name. I don't do that, right? And I only bring up stuff when you disrespect my kids. I don't believe in putting kids in crates, in dog crates. There are people who go to jail for that. So if you want to say, oh, you got into a little fight when you were this and you did that, like, If people pay for their mistakes, you can't talk about it anymore. But if you never got charged with your mistakes, people can talk about it and people can still bring it up and bring it your way if they want. How about that? Like, you can't talk about a bill after it's already paid, but if it's overdue, okay, we can talk. Until then, there is nothing to talk about. So I know that my intuition is correct because I've already proven it with facts, already proven it with life experience, and I'm still here kicking. If I would listen to half of you guys, I probably would have been 6 feet under by now. So much for how much you care, okay? So your kids should take heed and learn to freaking watch their own back, okay? Anyways, I should have had more guidance as far as my so-called fake friends. Well, if you don't have enough elders guiding you, of course you're going to be naive and you're going to be liable to hang out with people that act nice to you but don't have the best interest for you, right? Who give you a lot of compliments. Even girls do that too. Oh, I love your clothes. Oh, we're besties. Oh, we're this. I had all of that. And then meanwhile, stuff that you have is missing. Then their own brother is telling you they're stealing from you. Then you got your ex saying they tried to screw him. Then they rob your credit cards. Now I'm trying to clean my credit report. I see the letter M in my name. Either one of my exes tried to say we're married or this witch tried to do something. So I got to clean so much up because I got like all the 3 different identities when I pull my credit report. Why is that? Exactly. Okay. So don't think I'm going to just roll over because I got to a certain age and okay, you're going to wipe my mind clean and try to use your little voodoo or whatever. I feel all that and I rebuke all that. I was up until 2 in the morning last night. I felt that bad energy and I was like, I return it tenfold. May your freaking hair fall out. May it all fall out then. Okay. Because your witchcraft don't do nothing. Okay. There is a higher power. Worshiping the elements don't make you cool. You worship the wind, the this. Okay, make it stop raining right now. Make it stop raining right now. Okay? If your witchcraft would work, I would be dead by now, wouldn't I? Right? Yeah, real love there. Okay, that's why I know God is talking to the wicked and the righteous. It's not just about, oh, your family ties or your name or who you know, because you can have good and bad in all situations. Because I also have a cousin with the same surname as this so-called old witch best friend, ex-best friend that freaking robbed my family. And you know what? She has a good spirit and I don't take it against her. It must be a whole different branch is all I got to say. Okay. So I know the difference. I don't look at people like that, but that's why I'm guarded. I still, have a couple of acquaintances and that doesn't take away from some of you guys that treated me with kindness and we gave each other, friendship and we're still friends. We don't, what is understood doesn't need to be explained. I don't need to like shout out people's names. We have that spiritual connection, but people can see why I've been so guarded all these years is because I had to, is because you have to in certain situations, because if you're not your own advocate, then, the devil will come around and do whatever. Okay. And I'm not slow. So I've learned that too, to be careful with teaching what I've been teaching. Also, I'm trying to do things more private because I'm not going to just give away all these tips. And I have people who have like nothing but bad intentions, I'll have to register my songs. I'll have to work on a Patreon or even just do it privately. Things are not even safe on Patreon either, because I'm pretty sure somebody hacked my Patreon and did something with that too. So just like how God didn't give all his secrets to his creation, maybe just a percentage. I learn from the best and I don't give away all my plans. You can't. Because even when you're teaching the Bible and you're trying to do something good, people want to look at you with an evil eye. Oh, they must be doing this. They must be scamming. There must be this. Maybe you're the damn scammer because everything you think about is freaking negative. Okay. Everything I have, I paid for. Okay. Or it was a gift by my loved one. Oh yeah. Sorry. You don't have love like that. And not my problem. Okay. But I earn everything that I get. Okay. I got receipts for everything. So you can say, oh, she probably stole this. Are you freaking nuts? That's probably what you have to do. Right. or have to do freaking orgies or everything else, right? Try to pimp out your own family members. That's disgusting. Okay, I'm not about that. I'll never be about that. Okay, worry about freaking gaining some damn self-respect. People don't like it because my father was alive. He'd say it like it is. That's why people spit on my father's name when he passed away and said, fuck him, right? Right? And said all this shit. But they want to put pictures up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing. Oh, yeah. Nothing. Okay? So this and that. How come he didn't last longer than 2 minutes? So whatever. Hate me all you want. I don't care. But when it comes to knowing your intuition, when people are quick to stab you in the back, when they put too much pressure on you, when they want you to hold all their secrets as a kid, you could be a whole freaking virgin. You got to see all their escapades and shit. And they're like, shh, don't say nothing. And I didn't. And I really didn't. Right? You bring freaking immigrants that no one vetted, right? You just marry whoever, right? Because you're so rebellious against your father, right? Who did that hurt in the end? Who does it hurt in the end? Yourself, okay? So rebellious, you brought a predator into our midst, okay? When I was 4 years old, he was exposing himself to us kids. Are you freaking serious? And you're going to tell everybody that I'm the bad guy, right? I'm the bad girl, right? Because I grew up and I remember, hey, you guys are pretty messed up, right? And then trying to freaking put it on the kids. That can, no wonder some of the kids ended up having substance abuse problem, ended up cutting themselves, ended up running away and all that. No shit. Okay. And then never say, damn, I'm sorry. I should have, tried to understand, since you want everybody to understand your plights, right, ladies? You want everybody to feel bad for you. But when it comes time for you to give that to other people, you know what I mean? I'm quick to check my own before I check anyone else. Believe that. Okay. I got called every name in the book, right? Oh, I'm a wigger. I'm this, I'm that, right? Is that it? Is that it? Is that why you don't like me too much? Oh, you don't like my tan? Is that it? Yeah, exactly. You'd be the same color if you saw the sun. You don't have to live like a vampire your whole life. Doesn't give you cancer like you thought. That's why so many people actually had cancer, wasn't even in the sun like that. But okay, yeah, everyone thinks they're a scientist now, right? Listening to what commercials from paid drug companies. Do you know anything about business and marketing? Probably not. Probably not. Okay. But having some intuition, never turn that off regardless. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. A lot of people want to turn off that connection you have with God. Okay, a lot of kids still have that. I know kids who are 4 years old talking about they remember being with the angels. Like a co-worker's child, I talk to him, it's like talking to an angel incarnate. Don't even tell me that stuff's not real. You guys have been disconnected and so demoralized in this carnal world. And at the end, you're going to say, please, God, I want to go to heaven. I want to go to somewhere good. The whole time, all you do is clown people who try to talk about that stuff. Call them stupid, call them bimbos. Really? Really? Talk about projection. That's when I get annoyed. Like, age don't mean you're smarter than anyone. You're more capable. You got no right to disrespect people younger than you just for the facts. But, I can respect my elders. So I still have that ingrained where I can only take it so far. I'm not going to try to ruin someone's business. I'm not going to try to freaking starve you. No, that's psychotic. That to me is like a murderer. You want to talk about this and that, if anything. All right. Check your nationalization statuses and all of this bullshit. Okay. Why don't you guys do that? Because you still got to be honorable regardless. Some people, they think, oh, I'm going to be a goody two shoes for X amount of years. I'm going to be an adult. I'm going to be a freaking piece of shit. Okay. I'm going to freaking groom young girls, right? And freaking transport them to different states and impregnate them, right? And say everybody is jealous of us. One day those girls are going to wake up when they're older. They may not yet, but they're hearing me in their spirit. Oh, believe me. And one day you're going to get shat on all over your face. Yes. And I'm going to be like, hey, go girl. You know who I'm talking about. I'm going to say, go girl, you go. You freaking go. Okay. because this shit has gone too long. All right. Talking about people, but then trying to be with people that make you think of them. Yeah, that should be studied. Your brain should be donated to science for sure. For sure. If they can do anything with it, whatever. Make sure you guys are, whatever. I'm not reading anything. What is this? Miami? I don't know. Make sure you're respectful. You're getting blocked. Okay. You're getting blocked because I don't play. Okay. I'm tough. I'm tough. I'm like my mother too. My mother has a lot of empathy, but she takes way too much shit. She's too nice. She believes, yeah, Jesus loves all. You can forgive 50,000 times. My dad had a way like you go so far, you're going to get cut. Okay. And me and him had a wonderful relationship. Okay. Before he got moved down south, I was cutting his fingernails, doing his hair, rubbing his back, doing his physical therapy. But I wasn't going to encourage, I'm sorry, my mother gambling away the freaking money, running in these streets at freaking God knows how old she was, okay? And then getting mad at me because I wasn't doing enough, right? And then wanting to siphon more money out of the situation, whatever, okay? To try to reverse gas, trip, whatever. No, okay? What has been done is not okay. And believe me, my father's soul is not at rest. It is not at rest. He's disgusted, okay? And let me tell you, if he would have known how this shit would have went down, he would have rebelled kicking and screaming, okay? Because for all the time that he worked and how much he sacrificed just to be treated like a piece of shit at the end, not to be respected, taken serious. Yeah, I'd be freaking mad too. You know, everyone just shitting out. And I have a lot of guilt, okay? I cry to him all the time. I pray, let the rain come. It's probably my freaking tears, okay? I've been crying, I've been repentant, I've been all of that with him, okay? On my knees to God, all of that stuff. That I wish I would have just listened a little better and I wouldn't have been groomed to rebel and I wouldn't have, you know, looked up to the older siblings like what they were doing was cool because I was on a perfect trajectory. And it's funny how they're like, oh yeah, you were so perfect up until a certain age. Yeah, what happened a year before? Yeah, no kidding. And why did it go that far? Because you guys were so demoralizing, letting that freaking Brazilian freak into the family that when I met that a freak of my own and I was underage, no one said that was me. And my daughter brought in some roadkill like that. Cops would be called, your ass would be kicked, and you'd be getting out. I don't care what she said. I don't care how freaking naive she is. Under 18, she don't gotta say you should have been out of the house. Point blank, period. Where's the older brother? Where's anybody? Okay, so I don't want to hear it. Being freaking taken as a villain for shit I did when I was really freaking young. It's freaking ridiculous. And also for my sister, she should have been protected more. Okay, you know, and it's not okay to put your hands and do too much corporal punishment on girls, and then you let the boys do whatever, and you turn them into psychopaths, which you have. Because in a lot of cultures, you let the guys get away with murder. They can put their hands on people. My own brother choked me out in front of all my family and they did nothing. You guys raise up nothing but abusers, okay? So, you know, clock is ticking, okay? Karma is a you know what, okay? You guys let that happen. And if I even seen my father even raise a finger at my mother, I was at his throat. I was holding the phone, freaking telling him, you back away from my mother. I was freaking fighting for my sister's honor. Shit, even my stupid ass brother, you know, but at the end of the day, just because you thought, I was telling people the truth about what was going on with you at the time, so what? You know, you're going to put your hands on me like that? No, that right there, that's assault. That's a crime, okay? You did that in Massachusetts, okay? I don't care about your nationalization papers. You better freaking watch your own self, okay? Instead of just, you know, going on people's channels saying, oh, let me just troll, let me just do this, talking about I'm harassing you. I'm on my channel. This is like me being in my front yard saying what I want to say, okay? But what you did was criminal. You put your hands on me in front of my children and you choked me out in front of everyone. And none of you cowards did nothing. Okay, so whatever my father did to my mother, Mom, you probably deserved it because you did nothing that day. You let John do that. Okay, you allowed it and you probably thought it was okay. And then here I am fighting for your honor. And that's why, yes, I didn't go visit this time. Okay. Because I still have a lot of hurt. It's like, hello, where do I get any type of protection? Okay. I am the youngest, and that's how you do it. I feel bad. Girls, if you have younger kids around them, you be careful. You be careful. All right. And my own son, who's mad at me, but yet his grandmother freaking taking showers with him when he was 5 years old. That's why I had to move the hell out of that house, because I refuse to have my kids witness that type of abuse. I refuse to have freaking perverted old women trying to act like they were the mothers to my child. That was my son that I wanted protected and I wanted to raise right. Okay. And you embarrassed yourself. I had my son's father over there. You made a whole thing with my, a whole show. You know what you did. Okay. Then you exposed your freaking breasts in front of him. I mean, my God, is everybody freaking nuts? Is everybody nuts? How do you forget you had a shirt on? Okay. How do you invite my ex to have Thanksgiving when I had my daughter? There's no feeling at home with people like that. Okay. You feel like you are being raised in the lion's den. That's not okay. And I can still have love for people on that side. Okay. Because you know this shit is real, because I do have love, but I am not going to pretend certain shit didn't happen. And then you're going to just be telling the whole family, oh, she's too sensitive. Oh, she just has an anger problem. She just took after her dad. My father had a right to be mad about a lot of shit that he saw. Okay. Because people told me he worked like a dog at his job. He went through so much and you guys didn't respect him. And he made sure that we had food, a roof over our head. We were one of the only people on the block that had a house. Okay. And I'm sorry for letting those shithead friends over that did us like that. All right. May they freaking rot in hell. May they rot in hell, because they're going to pay for that shit. Okay. And that's what I apologize for. All of that shit. But I'll be damned if the shit that I paid for with my blood, sweat, and tears, okay, and my freedom, for God's sake, that you're going to come back and try to put more freaking shame on me, because it's not going to happen, okay, because the Most High is with me, and he will continue to be with me. You guys worry about what you did, all you Epsteins out there, okay? You guys worry about you, okay? Because the clock is ticking for you motherfuckers, okay? And I'm sorry for my voice, or for my vulgar, or my Latin vulgate. Like, you guys don't say the F-bomb every other freaking minute, right? Okay. And how do you guys protect anyone in the church? Okay. There's so many kids just being freaking groomed in these freaking churches. Why don't you teach the real truth? Okay. Instead of just protecting abusive men and the cohorts, right? They're demoralized women because they want to be accepted by their friend groups. Okay. They want to be just groomed, right? And they think, oh, I have the truth. You got the truth from an alcoholic uncle who put you onto that church. Okay, you idiots. You took from the Jewish culture all your practices, and then you talk bad about Jewish people. That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. Okay? No one's putting up with it. So I'm sorry. This is why I can't go to certain family functions, because, oh, I just say it how it is, right? I just say it how it is. We all just gotta stuff our faces and shut up until we freaking develop cancer and die. And then you guys want sympathy for that? That's what you're waiting for? It's not gonna happen. It is not going to happen. Okay. You guys check all your notes and you make sure you have everything that you did correctly, because I'm sure you didn't. And that's why people are putting channels on you, putting you on blast, saying what you guys are about. Okay. So I have no problem. Okay. Going through and examining my own household. I did it for myself. I do it for my own, and I don't mind doing it to my neighbor. I'm hard on others because I'm hard on myself. Okay. You got to be like that before you're hard on anyone else. Make sure you examine yourself. Make sure that you checked everything in your life, that it was so perfect, right? And you didn't contribute any delinquency to minors, right? You didn't try to freaking groom them really young, right? You didn't put them around dangerous men, right? Right? Because you were trying to keep up with the men. You were so worried about being accepted with the men that you put down the women. Right. And that's putting yourself down. OK, sorry, I'm not going to turn myself into a man to protect myself against a man. I'm just going to tell them what it is. And, let the law deal with it, right? And that's why I continue to learn the law, and I know my rights, but you need to know that no, you don't have the right to just come in and just treat people how you want and then never pay the consequences, and then try to talk shit to people who did pay the consequences and realize, hey, I only need to touch the fire once. My bad. My bad. Wasn't thinking clearly. Oh, I seen other people acting stupid. Okay, but prodigal daughter. My bad. Okay. But to continue to go on and act like, oh, my hands are clean. Yeah, it's just them. Yeah, it's easy to do so when jump states and you start over and you go in the woods. Whatever. Okay. But you're not going to run from God. Okay. You don't need to prove anything to me. Prove it to yourself. Do better. Okay. And hopefully you can grow from the experience and learn to examine yourself. And before throwing stones at me, you better have one for yourself, is all I got to say. Because I've been harassed. I was stalked at my last job. I have proof of that. I have an email from your daughter printed out in black and white that was given to me. So I have prima facie evidence. Okay. And then if I was a freaking coward, I have more heart than a lot of people put together. I would have already made a case that day. Okay. And I was like, you know what? I am not even as grimy as I'm going to let them know that I'm going to continue to go to my next chapter. And I hold myself with integrity and dignity. And God's going to keep open doors for me. As long as I preserve myself, as long as I'm honest, as long as I keep the commandments, as long as I'm a law-abiding private citizen. And, okay, is everything you're doing on the up and up, right? Selling your own spouses out to the sex industry and everything else. Yeah, real nice. I'll let their side of the family talk about it when, and we'll see, because when two witnesses agree, yeah, that is a case. And what? You want it? Whatever. So you leave me alone, I leave you alone. This is my channel for my own education to help the next people, okay? When you see someone's trying to be on the right track, stop trying to clown them, okay? Because you do it to your own side of the family too. When they try to go on the right track, oh, they're this, oh, it's this. Let them do what they got to do. They got a lot of trauma, okay? I have a lot of empathy for some of the girls in this family, okay? And even with, my old best friend, even though we're, stay away from each other, I have some empathy for her too, because her father was an abusive piece of shit. He assaulted me. He should be in jail right away, okay? He assaulted me. Her herself, she should be right behind if she don't leave me alone. So she better go stay in her corner and act like she don't hear me, okay? And I used to see him chasing his daughters, and I was like, my God, with butcher knives. Like, that's what you're doing to the girls. You're freaking fracturing their brain and making them more susceptible to being with dangerous men. That's why they end up gravitating toward dangerous men. It's like you want them to die when you do that. It's like you want them dead. Yes, it's very sad, and it's a very sad existence. And if you ladies are not careful, your sons are going to be the same way. They're going to watch all this stuff. They're going to see everybody in the family. No one's looking out for the girls. Are they going to go into the world and look out for people like that? That's why I was so rigid with my son. Like, you're going to respect women. I gave him a lot of love. But when he wanted to go left, I'm like, we're not doing that here. Hate me all you want. I'm sure his current girlfriend would be thanking me for it. Whatever nice he's doing for you, you better believe it was because of me, okay, that insisted this is what you need to do to have a healthy relationship. You don't want your girl upset, do you? Like an idiot. Like, how is that going to foster love, right? So anything that he learned, yeah, it's already ingrained, right? If he wants a successful relationship. If he doesn't want to listen, hey, you're free to be single as well too. But to come on my channel and trying to troll and be like, oh, this, when you say the word Manny, you're already triggering me, because I know the freaking mamma jamma with that middle name. All right. And you're just giving me more information. That's great. Should I type up something that has that with it and stuff? And like what? And like, all these screenshots. Do I need to start taking screenshots of more harassment? Because that's what it is. You're trying to find out my location, my this. It's not going to happen. Everyone's on high alert. Okay. Cameras everywhere. You will get You want to get froggy? Yeah, you'll be dissected like a froggy. All right, don't get froggy over here. Okay. And a lot of you other haters, you guys have your own freaking sick fetishes because a lot of you guys are freaking part of rape groups. There's a lot of things happening in the UK. Women are being assaulted. The cops don't do anything. America is already turning into the new Germany. And there's a lot of good German people. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Some of the most amazing people I met were from England and Germany, many different parts. Okay, and there was some that they were also very persecuted by that government as well too, for saying anything against it or anything. That's why a lot of people had to hide their, Jewish faith, of worshiping the Father and not just the Son, the sun in the sky, right? You guys worship the freaking elements. It's like if you don't worship the elements, they want to kill you. Okay, and then you guys want to talk about Salem witch trials. You guys do everything that the system wants you to do. The Catholic Church owns you, okay? Every holiday you do is owned by them. They're polytheistic. You're not doing nothing original. The Bible says how stupid you are, that you're only smart enough to worship creation, but not a creator. That's like worshiping yourself. Oh, I don't have a mother and father. You don't think that we're the result of a higher plan that was already created and we're just the material embodiment of it? Are you kidding me? Right? Okay, you guys can think you're the smart one. It's like the story of Joseph all over again. Throw me in the pit of vipers. You don't care. They actually would want to watch like the Hunger Games to see, shit happen to people, but God forbid. That's why I like in the book of Enoch and the Bible says that you guys only care about your kids, even though you guys abuse your kids. That's why your kids are going to rip each other apart. Okay? That's how it's going to go. And I'm not going to be part of whatever. Okay? So I stay out of it. You guys can go cannibalize yourselves because you guys are so fake. Just like my siblings. Oh, now all of a sudden they're friendly. Years ago, my brother was talking big shit about my sister, called her every name in a book. Freaking used to call her fat and all this stuff. Then when she lost weight, he tried to make lies, call her a crackhead, said she's anorexic. All this nasty shit. They didn't talk for years. It's all triangulation. Now all of a sudden she want to be buddy with him, right? You guys are freaking phony. It's just a matter of time before you claw each other's faces off. You guys can't even get along for 2 minutes. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's sad. Okay. And then when I try to show respect to your kids that are up here, you want to make lies and make a fake picture and send it to your son and said, I did that. Please send it to me so we all can see what kind of effing liar you are. Everyone knows you're a liar. They're like, oh my God. I'm like, a day before I went to the kid's party, spent hundreds of dollars on his kids' presents and shit, right? I'm so this and that, but you guys are quick to take my money too, right? Them, I have respect for. I like them, right? Because at least they took a stand. They don't even want to deal with your crusty ass, right? Because you're lucky I don't even want to say the whole story, okay? You know what you did. Everyone knows you're gross. That's why you had to get out of here, okay? And everyone's going to continue to know. The more you talk about me, the more it's going to make you look like the piece of shit, all right? Freaking over 10 years older than me, right? Talk and acting like I'm some type of competition. That goes to show that, yeah, you're really, you know what, inside. Exactly. Okay. Doing all this shit. You need to take a little swig. So annoyed. Not even gonna deal with it. Already need a break. Let's see. Any respect? Yeah, but anyways, sent a picture right before a party. It was trying to make trouble. Took a picture and said, she said this room's messy. Weren't you the faggot who called Department of Social Services on your own grandkids? Wasn't it you? It was you. Who the fuck would do that to their own family? Who does that? And if they ever needed a reference that you're just a abusive liar and they're doing just fine being parents, they already know I would do that for them because they are doing a great job. And your son is going to be a better father than you could ever be. Okay? All right, just because you throw money around, so what? I seen how you treated your dogs. Some of these guys, they get dogs. I remember being forced to take care of dogs that were neglected because he would just get dogs to fight him. All right, the choker collars, the leaving them outside in the cold to try to make them vicious so you can fight them. Is that how you raised your kids? That's how you guys try to raise the kids too, huh? Then you wonder when they freaking bite you in the face. That's not how you raise kids. I remember taking care of those dogs. I remember being yelled at from bringing them in the house, being yelled at because, oh, they're supposed to be outside, but it was freezing. That's why I have like trauma, and I won't have a pet unless I have like acreages and a nice big, pool house for them, and they'll be living large. I'll make like a mini mansion, not just having it just to have it. Throw it in an effing cage. You get dogs and you put them in cages. Put yourself in a cage, you piece of shits. And then you do videos with your dogs like you're a good guy or good people or good whatever. No, you just want to control something. That's all it is. I feel bad for those animals. I hope they piss in your face, they bite you, and they run away. Let those animals go back where they belong. They don't like you. They're stuck with you. They don't like you. Okay? Just because you have the money to buy them, it's just as bad as human trafficking. We got animal trafficking. They didn't have a say. You guys breed the animals, you separate the babies from the mom and the dad, then you neuter them, and then they're all sad. And what kind of life is that? Leave them the F alone. Yeah, because you're weak. And instead of putting your own hands up because you're starting to get old and decrepit, right? You need a bunch of guns and dogs. Yeah, okay, well, outside of that, what do you have? Nothing. And who you trying to kill? Who's doing mass shootings? Why do you need all these guns? Who you trying to kill? Who's bothering your crusty ass? Who's asking to come to your house? Nobody. Nobody wants to go to your house. I don't care if you have a treasure chest in there. Fuck your shit. It's all tainted. It's all cursed. All right, please. All right, and you guys use some of my free labor too when I was growing up, and I never got compensated too. Yeah, you'll use whatever child labor to get to your ends. I should have been in school. I should have been just doing my sports, not watching your freaking raggedy kids just to be disrespected when they got older. Okay, you guys robbed my childhood. That's disgusting. So you guys, if you're younger, you trust your intuition. This can happen with older siblings, friends. It don't matter. You stand up for yourself. Okay, don't let anybody take your voice. I don't care what they call you. They might try to call you crazy. They try to drug you. They'll try to lock you up. They'll try to do anything, right? They'll try to do a wellness check. Is that it? That's pretty sad. No one wants to hurt themselves. No, I love myself very much. Maybe you want to hurt your damn self, right? Right? That's why you guys have all these tattoos, because that's another way of cutting yourself. Please. I don't have any more. Sorry. I don't got those issues. I took care of that. That is a form of cutting. Okay, what tribe are you from? You want to say, okay, that's tribal. Okay, what tribe are you trying to copy? When you got all kind of freaking demon shit on your body? Yeah, you're telling me what it is right there. You didn't have to tell me all that. I already knew. And you looked way better before. FYI, way better. You didn't need to do all that. So that tells me that your trauma goes way before I was even born, obviously. And I know that. Okay. And that's why, I give certain people, some empathy when it comes to that, because I know that they were, they had a heavy hand, and I'm sure my father could do things over. I'm sure he'd do it differently. A lot of PTSD, a lot of military bullshit, a lot of being treated like shit at work. I talked to one of his coworkers who's still alive, by the way, so it's not an age thing or whatever, okay? Still working. He has a farm. He's doing very good. And he just he was telling me how hard they had it and stuff, and how some of the younger guys kind of treated him like shit and all this and that. And, it probably would have been easy for him to tell him where to go, but he knew he had responsibilities, and he loved us enough to, stick with those responsibilities. And if anything, you have to respect that. Okay. Because your ex didn't give a shit like that. My ex wasn't as solid as that. So are you kidding me? And here we are. We're like going to shit on our own father. I'm not doing that. You can do it by yourself. I'm not doing that. I know we could all have been better, but to try to put somebody on the cross and then crucify them and say, hey, the king is dead, like on some Julius Caesar shit. No, I will not do that. And then think that you're due whatever of his trinkets after you did him like that, after I was there to spiritually nurture him and to talk with him. And my Portuguese is very good. He understood me very good. And we talked about a lot of things, okay, that I'll never share with you idiots, okay? Because we understood each other in a way that you guys didn't even have that connection. We had a very good connection. We could just sit together and not talk and just be like nodding, you know, like, and he'd say a comment and I'd say one, and we'd be in sync. We'd understand each other so well. So it didn't take much. And that's what a lot of people hate. They hate that closeness. And, you know, that's why I am so upset, because you tried to take away something that was meaningful to me, his legacy. You know, it wouldn't have killed you to send me a shirt, a watch, something, hold something for me. No, right? No, think I didn't deserve anything. Well, we'll see what you deserve at the end of this life. We'll see. And we'll see what kind of respect when you guys kick the bucket. We'll see what they say at your eulogy. What kind of things would be said. Okay? And I'll say mine. I'm going to say mine before it even gets there. Okay? Don't listen to any of these creeps. They're all hypocrites. I love them, but they're so full of shit. And the more that they point at one person, the more you should be pointing back at them. Like, hey, if they're this, then what the hell are you then? Then who is in charge here? Who is the adults here? Who is anything here? Exactly. If there's such a pecking order and you want all this respect, then where was the freaking leader? Okay? And my mother did the best she could with, you know, what she had. But I will never forget where she just, you know, allowed certain shit to happen. And, you know, my father, you know, he's, I'm sure, paying for his sins too, as we all will. And so now all I can do is tell people, like, listen, trust your intuition. It could be from a best friend. They can give you some bad advice. They can say, hey, do this. It's okay to say, hey, that's not for me. That's not for me. Leave me the hell alone. If I don't want to take a bunch of prescriptions and I rather do herbal remedies or herbal Chinese medicine, who the hell are you? I'm a grown adult. I'm not under your care. I'm not a ward of the state. I'm a trustee of my own estate. Thank you very much. And I also am a trustee for my father's. Don't you dare think that you guys just going to do whatever with his name and we're okay with that. I don't think so. Okay. I was born for a reason, not to be a damn punching bag. Okay. And I hope for all the younger generations that you learn from this and you do better. I did the best that I could to raise both my kids together. I wanted them to be cool. That was really, really, really important to me because that wasn't fostered enough in my family. I don't use one kid to triangulate the other. Even if I don't get along with one, I want my kids to always be as close as they can because, you know what I mean? That's what I want. I have, my love can go both ways. You know, I love my son and my daughter perfectly. 100% each. And yeah, I'm gonna say my tough love and I'm gonna tell you you're a knucklehead or when you're being disrespectful, but don't you dare minimize everything that I've done, because if I, you know, cared so much about what everyone thought, I would have not even had children, right? I would have that, and I blame them for having me do that first procedure in the first place with that first abortion, which I regret so badly, but had to be done at the time, right? Because I was groomed to think that I would be killed, I would be kicked out of the house, it would be some type of honor killing, right? I had that much fear that I was like, I'm going to die. I cannot do this, right? And nobody was showing me any different. No one was showing me. So if you guys want to point the finger and say, yeah, she's such a bad girl because that happened, you don't, if you think you're going to throw me on the bus, I'll throw us all in there and then we'll see who comes up afloat, okay? But why don't you worry about the others who have done the same and never told anyone? Walk around like they never did anything. That's pretty funny. Maybe I'm just guilty for being too honest, you know? These are my own confessions. I confess to the Most High. I don't need to go to a priest. You know, they're probably watching me. Like, here's my confessions. Okay. Well, what kind of penance more can I do, right? but I know not to do it again. I don't continue to act like an ass, right? And then expect everyone, just expect Jesus to just forgive and put my shit on a murdered man, right? If that's the story, that sounds preposterous. Okay. And even with the Muslim stuff, you guys can keep that. You guys are looking to screw 72 virgins. You guys are screwed up too. Mixing a lot of things up. Okay. Don't know nothing about the faith. Okay. My surname has more weight than half of what they're doing, right? It means upright in righteousness. And the Bible is also spoken many times in the Quran in the God of Abraham. So how you going to use Allah, which is the name of a demon? That's the name of one of the 72 demons. I mean, that's what you guys are going to get. You guys are going to get butt effed by the 72 demons after this life, maybe, right? Maybe that was the joke. Yeah, exactly. You guys, a lot of them. That's why people get it twisted like, oh, she must be this. No, I'm still myself, but I'm enlightened. I don't let institutions tell me, oh, you can only read this book. Oh, you can't look outside. You can't look left or right. You got it. No, I'm not your livestock. I'm not your anything. Okay. I don't need a trustee over my inheritance. I don't need the president or the department to be the trustee or whatever. That's a whole other topic. No, don't need all that. It was already there being funded since we were born. Okay, I know exactly what's going on. And I'm not going to share it with half of the creeps that don't care or don't support my channel. For those who support my channel, that's fine. My Cash App is Diana-7. I have a Kadesh Gardens. If you have questions, you can email me. And I have a lot of knowledge, but I got to have my own little tribe. It's not to just throw my pearls to swine, because it's not meant for everyone. Because since some people want to go down thinking that they're right, we're going to see at the end. I feel so strongly about some of the stuff that I was talking about that I already told God, let's see on Judgment Day. Let's see after we're dead, we can both go in front of God. Let's do it. That's how strongly I believe in this. It's not a game. It's not a tit for tat. It's not what you guys are doing. It's for real. And it's going to be, I'm going to live on this hill, right? No dying here. I'm going to stand right on this hill. When the time comes, we'll walk through that gate together. Maybe you'll go before me, right? You can go wait, and then we'll see. We'll see after the fact, since, oh, you know everything. Everything you do is perfect, and people are just talking shit, right? They were just trying to talk shit, making a bad situation worse. No, they were trying to find clarity, because when I was warning some of these idiots about things, everyone looked at me like I was a joke, and I was right about so many things, and I called it right before it happened. I said, this is going to happen. We keep going. If we don't address this issue, this is going to happen. Okay? You don't hate on a cat for going into a hospital and sitting on someone's lap when they know they're about to die. There's cats that do that, They'll go right up to you and they'll know. Now, when you have a human doing that, a woman doing that, you don't want to listen, right? But you'll give more credence to animals than you will people, and then you want people to listen to you. Yeah, my mind don't work like that. I have a mind of my own. You guys listen to your own mind. Don't allow yourself to be treated like a baby in Babylon forever. That's what this, society wants from you. That way, they can see you take yourself out prematurely and then dance all over your grave, right? And then rewrite the history and rewrite your whole identity as if you were just a monster from beginning to end, right? As if you did nothing good. That's why I save all my receipts. I save all my notes now. I save everything, because people like to lie too much. So if you got something to say, text message if you have my number. You're not going to ambush me, random calls or whatever. We're going to treat it very, very carefully, okay? If you have nothing bad to say, then you're not gonna be disrespectful, right? Use an email. You guys had no problem using an email, trying to find my work email just to try to tell my last job, oh, she's bad for the brand because I disagreed with you harassing me on my page because I was talking about natural remedies, which a lot of people now online are doing, which a lot of people in the world now are doing. And I was doing this shit a few years back. I was ahead of my time, which a lot of you freaking clowns try to copy me and try to freaking put stuff on your social media. Like, yeah, you guys are just soul snatchers. That's all you're gonna ever be. You guys try to copy each other, clone each other. It's pathetic. But no, I'm my own unique gem, okay, that is set apart. It was probably divinely written that way. You all know I was a little church girl when I was little goody two shoes. That's why you guys wanted to corrupt me so young. So young, right? And then say, oh, she went this and that. Well, yeah, you know, I had a really traumatic experience at 17. I think how would you act if that happened to you? Exactly. And don't act like you're any better, because when you guys had your own, oh yeah, you were so freaking nice all the time. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Really. I spent way too many years right in the middle of that shitstorm. Okay. And I also protected those kids too in my life, but I was also being, you know, thrown around different crazy situations, watching, you know, people drink too much, watching people who are supposed to be holy men shave their face with no underwear on, with the door open, knowing that there's little kids in the house. I shouldn't have to see his disgusting genitals at 4 or 5 years old, okay? Yeah, you think I'm lying? Bring a lie detector test. My blood pressure is not going up at all. I remember like it was yesterday. Okay, what was the street name? Vestal Street, right? That I drive by and I still get chills in my spine when I drive by that street. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. It was disgusting. Okay. And then perving on a cousin who was like 14. She probably got stories too. I know they all do, but they all don't say it. They all got stories. Right? Because I was there being around grown ass men. Right? And this is some kumbaya shit. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. We need to protect the young girls and we need to be smart. Okay. Especially in America. I was born here for a reason. I do honor the laws here. I do respect people's boundaries. And you should do the same too. Hopefully you guys learn from this. Grow from this. Not here to put anyone down, just here to keep it real, since everyone wants to keep it real. And when I was a child, I couldn't speak, I couldn't do anything. And what's even scarier is that before I can remember, I was teased so bad, I'm starting to think I was abused as a baby because of like the stress that I had and the sicknesses that I had and the jokes that were made. I'm starting to think that I was abused by my siblings when I was a baby. I hope that's not true, but let somebody put a lie detector test on your asses and see what happens. Okay, guys, hope that you guys have a good day. Make sure that you trust your intuition. If you feel that people are being overly flattering, sometimes they'll do that so you can drop your guard. If they overly are in your business. And I'm only mad at a relative because I know it was my sister who was trying to fish around to find out where I worked just to have one of her toxic sex worker, which I have a picture of you in sex worker clothes. So yeah, maybe your son should see that when he gets older. That'd be fun. Tell her where I work so she can harass me. So that onus is on both of you. So if you stress me out, I'll stress you right back out because you did that. That was you. If my kids did that, I would have checked them so fast. I would have never, ever, ever put up with that. Okay. That's a delineation, just like levitation, right? Magnets, sometimes they attract. Well, some elements need to repel to have a levitation, get it? And in the afterlife, there is a rift between the righteous and the wicked, where you can't come together, but you can see each other, almost like what's happening now. You can see me, but you can't touch me. Get it? Can't hurt me again. And that's almost like what's going to happen in this afterlife, where there's a repulsion that you have, and there's a rift right there. I guess God did it that way for a reason. Hey, handsome. Hey, gorgeous. How are you? Is that a gentleman? Hope so. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Let me get out of here. It's been over an hour. I gotta get home. The hubby's probably like, "Where is she? Missing in action." He worries about me, right? Because he knows how much hateful weirdos are out there. So, yes, I do have to have a bodyguard sometimes, and not just that, I can protect myself just fine. But in this day and age, people are ready to do whatever. I'm not letting anybody run up on me, and I'm making sure that I protect myself. I live in peace. I worked really hard to get my 4-star going on 5-star status. I'm neutral. I got my letters together. I am being respectful to all the public officials, and I respect their positions, and I respect that the government has acknowledged all my good work too, and I'm not going to ruin that for anyone. If you think I'm going to throw away my blessings to prove a point with people who are partially illiterate at like 50 and going to tell me what's what, I'm not going to do that. My hands are always going to stay clean. Let them dirty their own hands, guys, okay? Be smart. Have a great day, guys. Stay blessed. May God protect you all. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I didn't respond to everybody. There is a couple of weirdos. Not even worrying about it. Just keep smiling, guys. If people want to see you sad, smile even bigger. That's what I think. Yep. So it's probably, again, I'm glad I'm hitting the right chords. You guys just proved that. Thank you so much. And let me just take more screenshots from my case if needed. I don't know, keep saying what you got to say. That's all right. Because, there's a lot of people who want to say what I say, but they just don't have the heart. They just can't say it. They're just too worried about, these people are not gods on earth. You're not gods on earth. I know you think you're gods on earth, but you're not. Okay? You're just people. And I'm not scared to speak my mind. If you're not scared to put your hands on women, why the hell should I be scared of you? And half of you guys are so in the closet, it's not even funny. So that's why it's in your spirit to come up here and talk like that. All right? Because you're the one that's probably tucking. You're the one that wants to be a woman so bad. That's why you hate women. Right? And a lot of you guys triangulate women to hate each other and go against each other and do all that crazy shit. That's fine. And I wouldn't even have to push it out here if people would at least have enough sense and heart to reach out to me, woman to woman, and just, you know what I mean, put all this toxic people aside. But no, you can't do that. So since you want to throw toxic henchmen at me, I'll keep cutting them down and have my henchmen cut them down, because I also know a lot of people. I also have my connections as well too. So when you think people don't know me where you are, they probably do, and they probably agree with me and think that you're trash. So that's okay. And just throwing little stones, that don't make you cool. That just, all it does is make people want to defend themselves that much more. That's fine. That's fine. And you know what? You can only live so long, and it makes you appreciate why people don't live forever, right? Exactly. Because if you had any love, you wouldn't go down like this. And I know that my father didn't talk to his brother for 27 years, but I know he cried and cried when he passed away. And they were probably too stubborn to whatever. But at the end, I'm the one that had the heart to say what I had to say. And I've been the one to be the peacekeeper so many times, just to been thrown under the rug, under the bus, whatever, right? Why should I have to do that? Maybe you guys should try to search for peace once in your damn life, okay? Instead of just walking around with war in your hearts and expecting everybody to kiss your ass just for simply being older. That is wild. Well, we'll see. Time is very cyclical. And may your descendants be more emboldened than me, because a lot of people say I'm just like my dad's mom, which is funny because I'm more like my dad's family, but they want to cannibalize my dad's legacy. But none of you guys even are like his side, if anything, at all. Do you even know any people on his side? Do you know anything? right? Or you just talk shit. Exactly. So yeah, maybe they wouldn't even like half of the other side, if they knew how they were moving, So I wouldn't be kissing my own ass if I were you. And keep saying what you got to say, because I know that everything that I'm doing is cleaner and more just than what you're talking about. And that's right. That's all you can do is just talk to the air, because that's all you'll get.